Let's now begin with lesson 3.2, that is outline key tools in Snowflake's ecosystem and how they interact with Snowflake. We will be covering all kind of connectors, then we will be deep diving into drivers and we will be doing hands-on specifically for ODBC drivers. Then we will be starting looking into API endpoints, then we will look into SnowSQL, then we will be looking into Snowpark as well. Let's first start with connectors. In Snowflake, connectors generally fall into two buckets. First is infrastructure and developers connectors, and second are native SaaS connectors. If we talk about infrastructure and developer connectors, these are the tools you use to build your own custom data pipelines. First is Python connector. It is the most flexible way to interact with Snowflake using code. It allows for bulk loading, standard queries, and Snowpipe streaming. Next is Kafka connector. It is used for real-time data. It sits on Kafka cluster and pushes messages directly into Snowflake tables. This is perfect for high velocity logs or transaction streams. Third is Spark connector. It is essential for big data environments if you are doing massive processing in Databricks or Apache Spark. This connectors allows Snowflake to act as either a source or a destination, taking advantage of Spark's parallel processing. Next is native SaaS connectors. These are managed connectors. Snowflake does the hard work of API integration for you, so you don't have to write custom Python scripts. First is Snowflake connector for ServiceNow. It automatically pulls records, incidents, requests, users from your ServiceNow account into Snowflake. This is huge for IT service management analytics. Next is Snowflake connector for Google Analytics. Since Google moved to GA4, raw data export can be complex. This connector simplifies the process, lending your marketing data directly into Snowflake for ROI analysis. If we talk about use cases now, if you are working on custom app or automation, Snowflake recommends using Python connector. If you are working on real-time event streams, Snowflake recommends you using Kafka connector. If your use case include marketing attribution, Snowflake recommends you to use Google Analytics connector. And similarly for IT and help desk analytics, Snowflake recommends ServiceNow connectors. And for massive data transformation, Snowflake recommends Spark connector because it is having the capability of MPP, which is massive data processing. Next up is driver, and let's discuss about JDBC. This is a standard for anything running on Java virtual machine. Enterprise applications, BI tools like Tableau or Metabase, and big data tools like Apache Spark or Talent use these kind of connectivity. If we talk about key feature, it is platform independent. As long as the system has Java installed, the JDBC driver will work. Next is ODBC connector. ODBC stands for Open Database Connectivity. This is the old school but incredibly powerful driver used primarily by Windows-based application and C++, C# environments. Microsoft Excel, Ultrax, and legacy enterprise softwares use ODBC connectivity. It requires installation on the actual operating system. You configure it using your ODBC data source administrator on your computer. Let's see this in action. I will first go to my drivers library page of Snowflake. So this is the URL for that, snowflake.com. In developers, downloads, drivers, and libraries. Here I have a lot of clients. Okay, I will go down and I will select my ODBC driver. I will say download from Snowflake, and here my system is Windows, so I will click ODBC for window and it will immediately start downloading it. I will just select my folder where I need to download, and then I will hit download option, and it started downloading. It's just 55 MB of file. Now I will go to this folder and I will install it. In order to install, this interface will come, then you click on next, then install, and it will ask you for the permissions. You can just give the permissions and it will start the installation for you. Here guys, installation is also finished. I will click on finish. Now inside my search option, I will select ODBC, and it will automatically display here ODBC data sources. I will click on open, and here I will move to user DNS, and then I will click on add. And once you click on here add option, you will be able to see a Snowflake connector. As of now, I am not able to see. Why? Because I had already established the connection using the Snowflake DSII driver. So it is nothing guys. When you click on this, when you add and click on that specific one, let me show you this one at least. So it will ask you for the other things like data source, passwords, and the schema name and all those things. Okay. And then you need to select everything which is required, and then you just click on OK. Okay, and once this is done, I will open the Excel, and then I will go to my data tab, and inside that there is an option called get data. I will click here and I will go to from other sources, and here I will select from ODBC. And then it is asking me that which data source name you want to establish a connection. I want to establish a connection on top of Snowflake Collaborative Demo. I will click OK, and I will wait for a few minutes. And see guys, it had shown me my ODBC connection, and I am able to see all my databases, schemas and objects inside my Snowflake from my Excel now. I will select one of the table to show you that it is actually working. I will go to my public and I will, let's say, select sales data. Okay. And then I will click on load. Okay. And it will start getting the data from my Snowflake instance, and it will try to pull all the data inside my Excel. So it's doing his work. So it might take 20-30 seconds or so. And see guys, it had successfully retrieved the data from my Snowflake instance. This is how you can work with ODBC. It is very helpful when you are working with the tools like Alltracks, or you have something requirement on Excel to fetch the data and within the Excel. Let's now discuss about API endpoints. The first is system $allow list. When you work in a high security corporate environment, companies don't just let any internet traffic go through. They use firewalls to block inbound or outbound traffic as per the policies. And system $allow list is a built-in Snowflake function that gives you a list of every specific URL and IP address your local network needs to trust, so that Snowflake can work perfectly. The script for that is select system $allow list, and it returns a JSON block containing the host name for your Snowflake account, your stage name, and the OCSP security certificate servers. Next up is SQL API. The SQL API is a RESTful interface. You send a standard HTTP post request with your SQL query, and Snowflake sends back the data as JSON format.